Hello, everyone. I'm Shelley Troyer with iTech. Welcome to our 11th week of Tech Tips Live, the weekly series where we get together to talk about new ways to incorporate technology into your workflow here at K-State. A couple housekeeping items. We're going to try to save questions to the end, just like each week. But if you want to send your questions in over the chat at any time, that's fine. I have muted everyone's microphone, but at the end, if you'd like to unmute your microphone and ask a question live, just click on the mute button in your bottom left-hand corner. So either way, you can send it through the chat or just open up your microphone. I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to today's presenter, Hung-Fu Chen, who's going to talk about managing grades in Canvas. So Hung-Fu, go ahead.
Hello everyone, I'm Hung-Fu Chen. I'm one of the Canvas trainers at iTech. It's nearing the end of the semester, so it's time to consolidate the gradebook and push out a grade that works to your desire. First of all, we have a variety of help resources available to you. If you go to the K-State online page on the left side and go to training, there is a variety of help that we offer during the semester for if you need any help with Canvas. We also have 3 workshops at the end of this month and beginning of next month, right before the finals, to help you out with grading and submission of grades through K-State Online. Today we will be covering the gradebook as well as some SpeedGrader usage in Canvas. This is the general gradebook layout. All of you should be used to this interface by this point. All the columns, each column indicate a different assignment. You can drag and drop to reorder them. The total shows up on the far right side as well as the assignment group total. The microphone with an X indicate a muted assignment, which you would want to use if you have not finished grading an assignment and do not wish for your student to see the grading for a specific assignment. When it's muted, it will show this microphone signal, and you can click on the button on the bottom right of the assignment to unmute it. Unmuting it will release the grade to the class, and student will see what they got on their assignments. Couple other gradebook tips is if you click on the name of the assignment, it will take you to the assignment itself. However, if you click on out of 20 or out of however many underneath the assignment, it will sort that assignment from the highest grade to the lowest or vice versa. That might be useful during the semester for a large class where you need to find out who is doing well on a particular assignment or who doesn't have a score for a particular assignment. You can also access students' view of their gradebook fairly easily by just clicking on a particular student's name. If I click on Matthew here, this is what they see. You'll see that exam 2 Scantron here shows a score. That's because I just unmuted the assignment. So if I were to mute it again, the student will see a muted microphone signal, but they will also see their group totals on the bottom of the assignment, the bottom of the gradebook, as well as their grand total on bottom. My suggestion would be to not unmute the assignment until the grade for that assignment is ready to be published. So if you have future assignment, you can publish the assignment so the student is aware that it will be in the gradebook and be worth a certain amount of point, but it does not count against them. Assignment group is the next thing. A lot of you use assignment group to drop the lowest score in online quiz, in class assignment, or attendance grade. Basically, or you can use assignment group to assign different weight to different part of the course. For example, we have this practice test here that no one is doing particularly well in this class, and that's dropping everybody's score. You can put a practice test into a group worth very little to even 0% of the grade. To do that, you click on plus group on the top right. That will ask you to create a group, and we'll call this group practice assignments. And this part will be grayed out initially, but once you save it and you go to this gear on the top right of assignments, there is an option to check the box that says weight final grade based on the assignment group. And in the meantime, we want the normal assignments to be worth 100% of the grade, and we don't want the practice assignment to be worth 0% of the grade. So I will bring up the gradebook before we make this change. So we have a record of everybody's overall. Now, if we move this practice exam, you can drag and drop the assignments up and down and into different groups using the 8 dots. And this is a common theme throughout the rest of Canvas. If you see those 8 dots, chances are it's a place to use to drag and drop. So after we drop this assignment into an assignment group worth 0% of the total grades, if we go back to grades, everybody's average should be up substantially from what they were before. Oh, well, yes, they're up a little bit. The exam 2 still hurts them a lot, but they are up a few percentages from what they had before, because the 4 out of 20 here no longer hurt this person. A lot of you have asked the help desk and us trainers about how to handle extra credit. Extra credit is handled differently depending on if you have a setup where you have different assignment groups with different weighting, or if you don't. Say, if you don't weight final grade based on assignment group, extra credit is really straightforward. Basically, you create an assignment and make it an assignment out of 0 points. And let's call this extra credit. And make sure it's published. If an assignment is not published, it does not exist to the student. The student does not see it, and you don't see it in the gradebook. So once it's published, it will show up as an assignment worth 0 points in the gradebook. However, you can give students 20 points, 30 points, 50 points, however many points you want in a course, in this extra credit assignment, or multiple. You can have multiple extra credit assignments. And as long as you weight them carefully to whatever the rest of the class's overall point denominator is, creating an extra credit assignment for a non-group weighted gradebook is that simple. Just create an assignment worth 0 points and give a numerator, putting a numerator out of 0. That's just 23 points. Extra credit with when you have weighted group is a bit more complicated. I'll get rid of this now. If you have the group weighted, what you need to do is determine what percentage of the overall class grade will be extra credit. Say if you, at the end of the semester, you have 1,000 total points in your class, and you decide you want to give out 50 points of extra credit, then you are giving out 5% of the class grade as extra credit. What you can do is create another group and call it extra credit, and just make that 5% of the total grade. Most people don't realize this, but the total percentage of weight final grade based on assignment group can go over 100%. So if you want the extra credit to be worth 30% of the class, you can just have all the group adds up to 130%. You will need an assignment underneath this extra credit group, but it cannot be an assignment that's out of 0. It needs to be an assignment that's out of 10, I would pick a multiple of 10 for simplicity, or just figure out what percentage of class grades is going to be extra credit, and then divide them up into the assignment underneath this category. I will just create an assignment called extra credit worth 10 points. And credits. And in the gradebook, and we'll change something to make this person perfect for now. Oh, right, this is also an assignment, my bad. So this person has 100% of the class grade right now. So if you also give him 10 out of 10 in extra credit, she will have 130% of the class worth of points. And you can go back and tweak you can always go back to assignments and tweak the extra credit or any other group's percentages until you find an ideal points. So if I change this to 10 now, that person should only have 110% of the class grades. That is correct. So this is how you handle extra credit when you have weighted assignment groups in your class. Another thing I want to talk about is the Crocodoc, which is what we use to grade. It used to be with the Dropbox under the old K-State Online, you need to download the document, mark it using Microsoft Word or TrackChange or any other tools, and then return it to the student. With Canvas, we have a thing called SpeedGrader, which has an integrated grader that lets you do a lot of the things you would do to mark up a document. So for example, we will create an assignment that is a file upload assignment. This will be equivalent to the old K-State Online's Dropbox assignments. So we'll call this short file, 10 points. And under submission type, there are a few submissions. No submission would just be an assignment that's worth 10 points that you will put in manually. For this purpose, we want an online assignment, and we want for it to be a file upload. And you can restrict upload file type as well. For example, for this one, I just want Word documents or the newer Word documents. Group, you can have a group file upload document. Peer review allows students to review other students' entry. Moderate grading is used for when you have multiple TAs and you want multiple ones of them to review the same assignment, and then you can make a final decision on how to grade a student. For example, TA1 could give a score of 8 out of 10, and TA2 can give a score out of 9 out of 10. You can read both of their comments and then make some final comments to the students. We won't use that for now. And save and publish. Another thing you can use to offer more clarity as far as your grading scale would be to add a rubric to an assignment. So after you create an assignment, on the bottom, you should see an Add Rubric button. This is a 10-point assignment about a short biography. What you can do is you can have, say, 2 criteria. One of the criteria is how concise it is, and the other criteria would be how accurate it is. And you can add as many categories, as far as I'm aware, as you want. You can certainly do up to 15. I've seen some instructor done some very elaborate rubrics. And the beauty of this is you can use this as a standardized way of grading. Say for brevity, you want to have something between 5 points and 0 points. You just click in between the two, and you have a mark that you can call average. And you can continue to click the in-between dots, and it will just add more segments that you can use as descriptors for a certain criteria. Or the other solution is if you check this box down here that says, I will write free-form comments when assessing student, what it will offer you is it will just offer you an area where you can type in your thoughts on their brevity score here and then manually put in a score. You don't necessarily have to use a rubric and tie it to the final grading. You can just use a rubric as a rough guideline to show the student, this is what I'm looking for, but I value certain things more than others, or you do something that's outside my rubric that I'm going to give you extra points for. For this case, we will tie the rubric to the assignment so we can see how it works. Once you are done with the rubric, click on Create Rubric. And I have an account here that's a student in this course, and I will just submit something real quick. And student sees the rubric as well. They see that on the bottom, brevity is worth 5 points, accuracy is worth 5 points, worth 10 points total. So, now that the student has submitted the assignment, you should see when you go to this assignment, you should see 0 out of 1 submissions graded, meaning there is 1 submission in the awaiting grade. SpeedGrader is what we would use in this case, and it's a very handy tool. For marking documents, it offers, until you press the comment button, the marking tool isn't available. So click on the comment button, and those tools should pop out. What most instructors tend to use is the text comment. So they can do something like marking this area and say, born a century earlier. And after you type in a comment like this, what you need to do is click outside this bubble. And until you do that, it is not saved. So once you click outside this bubble, it is saved. And if you ever need to go revise it, just click on it, and you should be able to continue typing to it, or you can just mouse over it and then delete it. The other common ones are draw, which you can use to draw arrows. And once you click complete, you can even drag the image around so it points at the exact thing you want. And if you ever need to get rid of it, just click on it and have it highlighted, then press backspace or delete on your keyboard, which will prompt you to delete it. Highlighting is basically like the highlighted comment minus the comment part. So you can highlight this part because it's inaccurate. And you can change the different color. Oh, you need to pick the color before you highlight a particular area. Different color tools. Text tool lets you just type on a page. It could be useful if you need to mark a specific paragraph for a comment. There's a strikeout let you mark out some sentences that you might deem redundant or unnecessary. Deleting them is the same thing as with drawings. Just click over them and then you press backspace or delete and it will prompt you to delete them. Same thing with highlighting. So earlier we created a rubric to grade this assignment. It will be shown on the right side. If you click on view rubric, it will have the two criteria. Clearly this article is too long to describe Abe Lincoln. One page too long. You can just type in your description of this criteria. And you can save this comment for reuse if it's a large class and you think you will be reusing this comment very often. And then you put in the, say, 3 points out of 5. Accuracy, get the birthday wrong, got the place of birth wrong. And then putting 3 points. Once you click on save, 6 out of 10 is automatically applied to this person's grade. And you can add in a final comment on the bottom, which will be marked with your name so they know it comes from you and the specific time that you created this comment. From the student point of view, once this is finished grading, they should see it in their grade book. Short bio, they got 6 out of 10. And what they can do is actually easier if they just click on the name of the assignment and they can see a view feedback right here. It will show all the markings that you made earlier. And if it's something really long that they need to read later, there's an option to download a marked and annotated PDF that they can open on their own PDF reader. Keep in mind that some of the markings, such as the marked comments, will only show up if they open it in an Adobe Acrobat Reader. It's called Adobe Reader now. It may not show up if you just open them in a browser. Yeah, you need to, what the student essentially need to do is find where the file is downloaded on their computer and then double click it on it to open it. Most students should have Adobe Readers at this point. If they don't, it's a free download and it's a really popular software. Next. A lot of you do online quizzes that you need to tweak the grade. With. If it's in case of individual, if it's an individual case, what I would do is I would just edit it in the gradebook. So if I want to give this person 45 out of, you can just click on each individual cell in the gradebook to edit their score. If, say, you have a class of 100 plus people and you need to give everyone, say, 1 extra points in this of mice and men assignment, there's 2 ways of going about it. One way is to just create an extra credit assignment out of 0 if you don't have the weighted assignment groups in set up. Create an assignment out of 0 and just give everyone 1 out of 0 who has submitted the assignment. The other way would be to use grade export and import. If you're at all comfortable with Excel, it should be fairly straightforward to give everyone 1 extra points. So to export the gradebook, you just press export on the top right, and then you export the current version. The first 5 columns are used to identify the specific students and which sections they are in. I would not mess with them. I would just leave all those 5 columns alone. After that, you can get creative. We only need to tweak off at mice and men, so we don't need the rest of this. Easiest way for a large class would just be create another column on the right side and give everyone a point and do some Excel calculation. So, and you can just take the column with the point added onto it and then paste as value to the original column. And once that's done, you can forget about the 2 column we use temporarily to do the math. Another use you can use import for is if you just need to create a new assignment. Let's say we need to create a new assignment called in-class participation. And it's out of 10 points. And you 5, 8, 9. Grade import is another way you can use to simply create manual assignments in Classic or no submission assignments in Canvas, where you just create the new assignment as a column in the gradebook. And once it is saved, Excel always prompts you to, if you want to keep using this format, and yes, you want to keep using the CSV format. It does not work with Excel files. It only works with a specific CSV file. I would only reuse exported CSV files. I wouldn't even try to create all of this from scratch. I would just export the grade book and then save a copy as the original, and then save a different copy and then tweak things on that copy. That's what I would suggest. So now that this is saved, we can import it back in. It will ask you to find the CSV file. You find the CSV file that you tweaked. It should have a confirmation page at the end. There is this new column that the gradebook does not recognize. There's no current assignment called in-class participation. It will ask you, is it one of those assignments? It's not. It's a new assignment. So you can just put it down, new assignment, 10 possible points. And once you hit continue, it will show this is a new assignment. Nobody had scores before. And for the other assignment, everybody got +1, like what we did in Excel earlier. And once you save change, it will say it's going to take a while-ish. For large class, it should take less than 5 minutes maximum for any class I've encountered. Once this is done, the assignment should be in there. Off my cement, everybody has 1 extra points. In-class participation is a new column with the score that we input into Excel. That's what I have today. So if any of you have questions, let me know.
Yeah, let's go ahead and open it up for questions. So if anyone has those at this time, you can either unmute your microphone or you can send it in over the chat.
Hung Fu, so if people have a question, how can they get in touch with you?
Oh, right. I can be reached at, I will just type in the all chat. I can be reached at this email address, or there is a form online if you want to schedule a time to sit down with me or Zoom with me to figure out a question. If you go to, I will share the screen again.
And just for the people who might be viewing this on the recording, you won't see that chat message. So it is what was it? Hold on, it just went away. His email is hfchen@ksu.edu. So hfchen.
And if you want to if it's more than a quick question, what I would suggest doing is go to online.ksu.edu, go to training on the left side, and fill out the form that requests personalized help. We can figure out the time to sit down or do a phone call or do a Zoom session and figure out your particular questions.
Does anybody else have any questions regarding any of the topics covered in today's Tech Tip? Okay, I think maybe you're just a little too good at your job there, Hung Fu.
Thanks.
Okay, so if anyone does have any questions afterwards, just contact Hung Fu or submit a training request. If you want to see the video of today's recording or any of the previous sessions, we will have those posted on our Tech Tips website, which I have posted here. It's k-state.edu/its/tech-tips-live. We do have our video from last week's talk on Instagram already up, as you can see right here. And then in the future, if you want to see the topics that are coming up, they'll be listed on this page as well. So I hope everyone can join us next week for our Tech Tip about improving research skills with the New Literacies Alliance. So that is it for today, and I hope everyone has a great week, and we will see you next time. Thanks.